and it leads you to think. You know, I've been watching politicians, since I've become an adult, and I haven't heard one politician keep one promise that they've made. As a matter of fact, I listened to my parents talk, and they can't recall one thing any politician has ever done that they said they were going to do. And that leads me to wonder, it seems like the only solution the government has for any problem is to create some new program to take your money. For a while, we heard Huckabee talking about taxes were too high and that he wanted to just do a national sales tax. But that plan is a failure as well, because the national, just a sales tax is called a VAT tax, and that's a European idea. You know, even Social Security, even though the Supreme Court has ruled that nobody has to be compelled to pay Social Security, and even though it's a form of insurance, the courts already ruled that they're not even authorized to create any sort of insurance or trust program. People, it seems we can't get enough of the Europeans. That's right. We learned communism from them. Now look at us. Biggest debtor nation in the world. You got the government involved in every aspect of your life, from going to the bathroom to laying in bed at night because you can't remove the tag from the side of the bed, or it's a crime. We can't get enough of the Europeans. They created central banking. Warburg came over here in the early 1900s and said, what you guys need is a central bank. We got a central bank and we got income tax along with it. Don't you think we can do something more intelligent than that? I remember a time when we were reading a history book, how rich this country used to be. And when was that period? When they didn't charge taxes. When they didn't have fake money. I guess we need to go back to Europe, all of us, figure out new ways to watch the Europeans and find new ways we can tax ourselves, and to find new ways to raise more money for the government. That is the problem. I got a better solution to the healthcare problem, because chances are, if you're under 30, you can't afford to grow old. You can't afford it. But however, I got a better idea. What if we told the government, and this is just for shits and giggles, no thank you. I don't want any of your programs, no thank you, but I'll buy it from somebody else. What I find interesting is any program the government offers you, it's a failure. It's an epic failure. Every program they offer you is too damn high, and if you actually wanted to take your own money and pay for the service yourself, you spend less money. Because most of the services you pay for government, the money that you put into it gets eaten up in administration cost. It's something to think about. What if everybody started to become more responsible with dealing with their own health, dealing with their own insurances? Because in Massachusetts, when Governor Romney made everybody have insurance, what happened? A lot of the doctors packed up. And a lot of doctors in Massachusetts left Massachusetts and went to go practice in surrounding states. Now you have people with a lot of insurance, and the wait time for a doctor is ridiculous. That's why the government does not need to get involved in commerce. We have a lot of these conservatives say, well, we need to let the Free economy works. You know what the free market is? Honestly, the free market is the black market or the underground economy. You know, transactions that aren't regulated. What I mean by free economy is you get your neighbor down the street, you give them $10 to cut your grass, nobody else is involved, just between the two of you. That's the free economy. Anytime you got rules set up for economy, it's rigged. There's nothing free about a rigged economy. You know, the reason why healthcare is so expensive is because once government gets involved and regulates the industry, the first thing they do is they allow a monopoly to occur. And when the government allows a monopoly to occur, guess what? That industry can set the tone for their own prices. And most of the money that you are being charged, they're not including the indirect taxes in it. You know, you'll get their taxes for their insurance. That's something to think about. You know, I could go on and on, but I want to hit briefly on indirect taxes. Do you realize the average American has to work from January until June to pay their tax obligation? 59% of the price that 59% of your income gets eaten up in taxes. Well, you may say, I don't see it on my receipt. I don't see all these other taxes. You're not going to see it. You see, it's called an indirect tax or overhead markup. Let's take a gallon of gas, for example. Right now, as of today, the cost of a gallon of gas is about $3.50. However, out of that $3.50 a gallon, 61 cents of that gets eaten up in taxes. It's not on your receipt because the gas station owner, they place that in, they include that in the sales price. So 1 gallon of gas has 60 cents in taxes. What if out of that $3.50 that it costs for a gallon of gas, what if it wasn't a 60 cent tax on that gallon of gas? Guess what? Now the cost of gas will go down to $2.90 a gallon. But wait, the gas station owner, even though the government takes out that 60 cents in taxes, that gas station owner still has to file state, federal, and local taxes. Then he has to pay for insurance. The Ways and Measure Commission got to come out and inspect his pump. The OSHA comes out, take their chunk of it, and guess what? The cost of all that gets placed into the sales price. If you don't understand how taxes work, you'll never be able to place 1 and 2 together. And see, just because a company, they may do $1 billion in sales, most companies, when you look at their corporate charters, their corporate charter reveal how much of their profit they get to keep, called capital investments. And most companies is just 12%, and the rest gets eaten up in taxes. It's something to think about. Hotel room. The majority of the price for a hotel room, it gets eaten up in taxes. When you go out to a bar and you buy liquor, it's called a sin tax. If you spend $10 on liquor, about $3.40 of the price that you pay for that liquor is tax. So the question is, why do the government get to get free money and they aren't contributing anything to the business owner? Something to think about.